If you use AI agents like OpenClaw, Hermes Agent, CloudCode, OpenCode, etc., and you're not using a knowledge base, then you're doing it all wrong. And this probably accounts for many of the frustrations you might feel with your setup. Now, you've maybe heard about guys like Gary Tan or Andre Karpathy talk about knowledge bases from an engineering perspective, but it doesn't need to be that complicated. And if you are a solopreneur, normie type person, you can still benefit from a knowledge base and create one very simply. So in this video, I'll explain to you what a knowledge base is in plain English, how I use one across my different apps and ecosystem, and I'll show you how to start building one that will make your AI agents dramatically more effective. Okay, so quick Brave search here. We see that a knowledge base is a centralized searchable repository of information. We could also call this a single source of truth. The idea is that it has all the information you need in this location, but it's not a database. A knowledge base should be human or agent readable content. And a database normally is not that. A knowledge base could be internal or external. An internal knowledge base would be for you, your team, your agents, your employees. An external knowledge base would be for your users or the general public. On this video, we're going to focus on making an internal knowledge base optimized for AI agents and you to work together. So in this video, we're going to explore what a knowledge base is and show you the results of how it actually produces things for me. Then I'm going to show you what it looks like under the hood, behind the scenes, how I work with a knowledge base with my AI agents in my workspace. And then I'm going to get you started on the first steps for building your knowledge base so you can take that and run with it for your own purposes. Okay, so let's look at what's possible here. Here is my new website, jordanherbs.com. I'm a creator, solopreneur, whatever. No matter what your business is, you're going to need a landing page, right? Let's look at the colors. Let's look at this logo. Let's look at the font. Let's look at these little styles. Kind of a cool little website, not slop. Okay, at least in my opinion, this is not a sloppy looking website. You probably know what AI slop websites look like. Now, this is sovereigntyatlas.com, a directory I made with Fable 5 for sovereign-minded things around the world, which is a top of funnel, still getting populated on Google, but it is a top of funnel for my little ecosystem. Notice the colors. Notice the gradient. This is the Sovereignpreneur website. What is a Sovereignpreneur? This is like a thesis for certain people to read and be like, oh, cool, I'm more interested in what that guy does. Okay, great. Not a top of funnel, but once again, look at the design, look at the style. If we were to actually read through this, we would see that this copy, positioning, and messaging matches jordanherbs.com, also matches sovereigntyatlas.com, and finally will match Harbor, which is the vibe-coded community platform that I am building with the AI Captains community. Now, in here we have a classroom, AI stuff. We're going to have more classrooms. This isn't live yet, by the way. A collaboration board. Hey, I need help doing something. You post it. Someone says, hey, I'll help you. A contribution board. You can help build it and get points by contributing PRs. Member library, and most importantly, an AI assistant that basically helps you do anything inside the community. Once again, let's look at the colors, let's look at the fonts, let's look at the themes. Okay. And then finally, we have Herald. This is my ConvertKit Beehive replacement, vibe coded with Fable 5. We have my school onboarding sequence here, right? Look at the colors, look at everything, right? Now, this is an internal app. It's not as important, but this app exists in the same workspace as this, as this, as this, as this, and as this. So AI Captains, this is project number 2, second knowledge base, but related to the first one. This is a product, AI Captains Academy, fun website, full-on knowledge base for this 90s retro gaming style brand. Even got a cool 2D side scroller here. Sales page. Notice the colors. Notice the mascot. Notice the fonts, typography. All the same stuff we see here in the classroom. Okay, so what I just showed you is 2 different knowledge bases, but they're interconnected because of the email sequences and marketing, and because the only real product in the Jordaners ecosystem is the school community for now. So yes, most of what we're going to focus on today is a front-end knowledge base. This is a solopreneur creator's front-end knowledge base. But it does really good work, and it helps you build assets in no time at all. What used to take weeks now takes hours. So the software I'm using in this video is called VSCodium. This is an integrated development environment. And don't worry, just because it says code or codium does not mean you have to know code. You don't need to know code. What this is a workspace that an AI pops into to help you work with files. And I really like this interface. I think it's really powerful for working with AI agents. I like it more than OpenCloud Hermes and just chatting with what's up. You can actually see what's going on. You can know what's happening under the hood, and you can really be in charge of it and just be in more control. So VSCodium is the app I'm using along with Claude Code, and optionally OpenCode. You just need an AI agent framework inside your IDE, which we'll get to shortly. Okay, so I'm resizing this window here because I literally have 4 agents working at the same time. Here in these agent windows, you see we have the Jordan Herbs brand. This is my workspace. Let's come over here and see everything going on in my workspace, okay? We'll make that bigger. We have a .claude folder. We'll come back to that in a second. We have the community platform, which was this, with the classroom. Then we have content. I use this to repurpose content, brainstorm content, to research for content. Then we have the email newsletter system. I showed you this as well. Then we have jordanherbs.com. Then we have my own personal harness for the workspace. So when there's design involved, when there's messaging, when there's copy involved, how to write. And then we have the sovereigntyatlas.com directory. We have my testimonial system, another app I didn't show you. And then we have the actual Jordan Herbs knowledge base. So my whole workspace has all the ecosystems directories. And then inside we have knowledge base for all the different things going on. So for example, who is the avatar, the ICP for this ecosystem? We have a whole folder for it. Here in the README, we see the audience personas for the Jordan Herbs brand. And then it'll show everything that's going on inside this directory and everything that the agent should know if it ends up opening that directory. Here's one of the avatars, the frustrated solopreneur, for example. Then we have collaborations folder. What are the criteria for me to collaborate with them? Then we have content. This is actual content that I'll end up publishing that in case I'm ever in an ideation fog, the agent can look in here to find new ideas. We got threads, we got YouTube scripts and treatments. We have design frameworks in this knowledge base. Design system. 2 paired palettes used deliberately, not interchangeably. So I have 2 modes. The one we already looked at is mode A. It's what you see behind me, the purple and the green. And then we have mode B, which is for a different aspect of the brand. This is more blue and orange, meant for more Bitcoin facing audience. Then we have visual prompts. What are the brand visuals? What does it look like? We have the foundational brand visuals, diagrams, frameworks, scenarios, matrices, etc. And then here in the exports, we actually have a full style guide zip file that I can share if I need to. Frameworks for how to approach certain topics, such as AI inference options to say as sovereign as possible. Do you want local models? Do you want closed weight frontier models, etc.? How do we access them? Trust and the trust spectrum, from trusted third party all the way to trustless. Where do you want your tool stack to be? Then we got our messaging folder, positioning.md. Who is this for? This brand is for people who sense that the operating system they were handed is not going to deliver the life they want. Okay, and then there's the AI Captains folder, which is a rundown of the whole AI Captains product. It's not everything. I'll show you the AI Captains knowledge base in a second. So now what happens is we'll come back to all my chats here. This one is working on AI Captains. This one literally just generated titles for me over a YouTube video intro. And I'll show you, I'm not actually going to use this. This is actually for this video. But look, all these titles, I'm not completely stoked on. It needs some work, but I was just building this. The agent did this, and it's all on brand, using the right fonts, the right colors, the right typography. Like, it did this. Helps your agent work. So that's what that chat is going on. It's working on video styles for titles. In this chat, we're working on Herald, this. And then in this chat, we're working on this sequence for the AI Captains new trial members. Because, by the way, you get a free 7-day trial here to try out any of the things I'm explaining. Here in the classroom, you can learn about how all of this works, even if you've never done AI agent stuff before, past ChatGPT. You start from scratch here. And as we're going to get to, this is the juicy part to start building your knowledge base prompt by prompt, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is my workspace for the Jordan Herbs brand working on the ecosystem. So then I have the actual AI Captains workspace, and I've got a few different chats here too and files open. This is all part of the knowledge base, the Compass framework, for example. Inside the AI Captains Academy, we teach the Compass framework, strategic framework for navigating AI tool decisions across 7 critical dimensions. And then in here, it just goes through the whole framework. Let's close that. Brand design system. Now, I showed you earlier all the design, the fonts, how it's all consistent across brand assets and websites and sales pages. That's because this file inside of my AI Captain's knowledge base shows everything about the brand. Everything that it needs to know for colors, for fonts, guidelines for the typography, the actual CSS to use if making an asset, the spacing, everything is here in brand design system. And if I open up the files here, we'll take a step back and we'll see, okay, AI Captain's knowledge base. Now, I update this every quarter or so, and so I actually just redid all this. But here in the AI Captain's knowledge base, we're going to see the brand guide.md file, everything about the brand positioning and architecture, the writing voice, the values, how the knowledge base system we teach works, the email strategy, the community strategy, the academy ecosystem map. All of this is here in my knowledge base. So all of this is available for my agent to see as long as I open up an agent inside this folder. For example, in this one, we're changing the pricing and walking through the Stripe price ID. So let's clean all this up. So we have our knowledge base, but the most important part about having a knowledge base is the context you give your agent to use the knowledge base. So a quick 101 on context hygiene and context engineering. Essentially, the more tokens and context that your AI agent conversation is working with, the less quality your output is going to be. So as we know, when we start a new conversation with AI, its memory is fresh, it's blank. But with good context engineering, we can make sure it has the memory that we need it to have to do a good job. Now, Claude Code and other harnesses are starting to build in this memory automatically, which is nice, but it's important to know how this kind of thing works in case you need to create a workflow, an agentic harness for your own purposes and not be reliant on these other harnesses. You want to know what's going on under the hood either way. So what happens in a new conversation is you want to give it the context about your business, about your brand, whatever, but if you give it too much, it's going to get bloated and it's not going to give you good results at the end because you gave it way too much context. But if you keep those context tokens low, but good and accurate, then you'll have more space to work with the agent through the max token conversation window. 1,000,000 tokens, 256,000 tokens, etc. So our solution to this is our agents.md file or CLAUDE.md if you're using Claude Code like me. So inside this knowledge base is this CLAUDE.md file. When the user's prompt touches any of these topics, read the listed file first, then answer. If multiple topics apply, read multiple files in parallel. So if I'm saying, hey, let's work on the AI Captain's messaging, then it knows to open brandguide.md. If we're talking about competitors, it knows to open up brandarchitecture.md. I'm talking about visual styling, or hey, make a website for this, or hey, let's whatever, make a new card component on the landing page. It's going to know to check out this. When we're talking about values, methodology, and frameworks, it's going to look here. When we're talking about audience pricing and offers, it's going to look here. This is called context engineering. So instead of all of this loading and bloating up your context window with your new conversation, instead it knows just to load the file it needs. So that's what happens inside the AI Captain's knowledge base. But here, inside the full AI Captain's directory, which is not just the knowledge base, it's the content we make, it's the memberships, it's the brainstorming, it's prototypes, it's websites, it's sales pages, it's that game I showed you. It has also a CLAUDE.md. And here is the CLAUDE.md for the actual workspace. This is the consolidated home for everything AI Captains, the brand, the course content, the website apps, and the marketing. So when I start an agent here, it automatically reads this and says, okay, start here in knowledge base index.md. This is the map of everything that lives where. So let's look, knowledge base index.md. Boom. So as soon as that conversation gets opened, it reads CLAUDE.md and it opens this project map. Source of truth, the brand folder right here, everything about the brand, content lessons, the active content production harness, ideas, transcripts, and videos into school lessons, presentations, YouTube packages. So this is how me as an AI educator, I create my school content and YouTube content side by side. So we have our source of truth here. It tells you everything going on. Here's the internal marketing content. Here's the work in progress of reshaping the membership product. Here's the marketing site. Here's the customer intake, blah, 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 blah. So everything is here and it knows right away because when I open the conversation in the AI Captain's working directory, it says open up that file. So where we're coming from is knowledge-based stuff. All the information, the brand positioning, the style guide, okay, the data. But what about the action? So this is where CLAUDE.md acts as behavioral instructions. So if the task is about brand voice, messaging, blah, 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 what you're going to do is open up CLAUDE.md inside the AI Captain's knowledge base. So if we go in there, brand, AI Captain's KB, CLAUDE.md, then just what we saw earlier, routing rules. If we're talking about brand voice, open up this file, positioning, open up this file, blah, blah, blah. So that's the second layer. If we need the knowledge base, come in here. If we're generating on-brand media, you're going to open up this skill. Now, we haven't talked about skills yet. It's not going to really be what this video is about. But if we were to open up the .claude folder here and we see all the skills, we can see, okay, we have the skill for generating on-brand media. Let's take a look at it real quick, just for fun. In here, we're going to see, okay, if we want a social postcard method, we do the HTML first, then we save it as a PNG. Here's the style default. Here's the template you start from. socialcard.html. Should we look for that in here? Templates, socialcard.html. We'll reveal that in the Finder. This is what it looks like. And I don't use this as often. I actually would probably make a few changes, but when I need a quick asset for a video or something, there it is. Quote graphic, diagram, all on brand, templates for whatever I need it for. Video B-roll, social post, whatever that is. It's all here. Quote graphic, banner, technical diagram, hero image. Now here, hero image, we're going to use the Venice API to generate the image. And we're going to use the reference visualstyles.md. Reference visualstyles.md. Here it is. Preview that. Universal typography rule. Mode A, synthwave retro. Venice brand DNA string. So this goes into every prompt. 80 synthwave retro futuristic, athletic, maritime, nautical theme, cyberpunk, arcade game style, blah, blah, blah. The captain character. Mode B, clean professional, which is not as 16-bit. Negative prompts. That's the visual styles. That's the skill MD for generating media. Now, if we return back to CLAUDE.md, we see, okay, we covered the knowledge base. If the task is about knowledge base stuff, open up the knowledge base, CLAUDE.md. If we're generating media, open up that skill, and then that skill will route by the media type. Low-level image video prompt structure. Check out CLAUDE.md. Creating lessons, presentations, YouTube packages, social repurposing. Check out the content folder. There's a whole harness in there for all my content. The AI Solopreneur course specifically, which is what's on the AI Captain's Academy, right there. Working inside a specific app, right there. Hard constraints, blah, blah, blah. So this is our behavioral file, CLAUDE.md, that the agent sees as soon as we start a new agent inside of this main workspace. So now I'm going to demo something for you, and then I'm going to show you how to start building a knowledge base. Here, I open up a terminal and I type in Claude or OpenCode. And you find the model you want to use, okay? So if you are a open source fan and you prefer to pay by your usage, then there you go. If you're a Claude Code or Codex friend, then you can use Claude Code. I'm going to use Claude Code here. And so what I'm going to say here is, let's just test some of this stuff out. Generate a quote card of Jordan Herbs saying AI knowledge bases are super cool, and create a diagram of the, let's just make this up, 4 steps to create a knowledge base. 1, have project. 2, explore specifics. 3, create MD files and directory hierarchy. 4, add skills and context files. Now I'll go over to auto mode. And we're just going to watch it work here, okay? Notice, I did not tell it anything. Check this file for the colors. Use AI Captains. No. It automatically read CLAUDE.md here to get started, which we already looked through. And it said, okay, start here. And depending on the task, this is how you're going to route it. Okay, we already looked through this. If it's more familiar here, this is how you're going to route it, right? So it knows these are on-brand media asks. So I'll start with the brand media skill router. And look where we are. Brand media skill router. This is what it did. It loaded the brand CLAUDE.md, the brand Claude skills. It found this exact skill, and now it has everything it needs to create the media I requested. Now maybe you want to grab a snack while it works. Stand up, take a quick health break, look outside, look at the sun, move your body, stretch. It's very easy to become a AI zombie these days. All right, so now both graphics are done and rendered using the skill. Quote card, AI knowledge bases are super cool. Jordan Herbs, AI Captains. All right. I want to work on that. Maybe we'll do that right now. 4-step diagram. Have a project. Start with real work that needs context. Part 2, explore specifics, signal details, decisions, and domain. Create MD files, add skills and context. Okay, there's our diagram on brand. Okay, so it created what we needed. Now, let's modify some things. New conversation. Let's make sure we're not using Fable for this. Gosh. For the quote card media gens, make the name attribution text 2 times bigger. And now we're going to see it's going to actually adjust the skill. So it found a template, it updated the font size, and it told me it finished with a note to flag. And the problem here is just that that font is extra small, so it thinks it's going to show up larger than that font, but it's not. Oh, so it actually found the original HTML, it's changing it, and there it is, bigger. Okay, maybe a little too big, but that's all right. Point is, that's how simple it is to fix and change things. So let's take this to the next level. This one, new conversation. I'm going to drag this picture in here. I want to say, let's create an animated motion graphic of this diagram. Each step should linger 2 seconds before the next step fades in. Now let's see what it's going to do. It's a brand media task, so it looks at the brand media skill. Done. Now we're going a step further than knowledge base here. This is knowledge infrastructure. I hope you don't mind if you're still watching, but all of this is part of your knowledge base, really. One thing interesting here is that by default, it's going to launch Puppeteer in Chrome and use FFmpeg to make an MP4. I actually wanted to use Remotion, and that's not in the knowledge base. So use Remotion and fix up our workspace so that in the future, when I want an animated diagram, you always use Remotion. Now, this would also be a good time to go back to my other knowledge base. Oh, it actually has B-roll animator here. Okay, so it's already got it. Cool. And now it's just going to adjust the CLAUDE.md routing specifics to make sure when I want an animated diagram, it uses the B-roll animator, not like a screen share render. Now we got the whole plan. It's going to make a whole reusable Remotion project for this. Cool. And then it's going to wire the routing, skill routing table in CLAUDE.md plus memory, CloudCode's memory. So future animated diagram requests always land here. Boom. This is knowledge infrastructure in action, my friends. Oh, it's also making, is that a new skill? I'm not sure though, these subfolders, how that would work. Okay, so it's almost done here, and it's rewiring the routing. And this isn't the subject of this video, but just remember your mileage may vary depending on what agent you're using. CloudCode, I think it's using Opus 4.8 right now, is obviously a very powerful combination. We could try this same thing in OpenCode and GLM 5.2. It would probably more or less do the same thing, but maybe be a little less ambitious. I don't know. I do explore using agentic harness workflows on my channel. Go check it out and think about subscribing to the channel if you like this kind of thing. I do support everyone wanting to use open source models and OpenCode and not using Cloud Code. I just get such good results with Cloud Code. That's what I do my demos with, because this is really about the knowledge base and knowledge infrastructure today, not really about the model thing. But if you're not a Cloud Code user, I highly recommend exploring with these other agent frameworks and models. So I think it's done. Let's find it. It's right there. Great. And let's make it bigger. Dun, dun, dun. 4 steps to create a knowledge base. 2 seconds there. 2 seconds there, 2 seconds there. There we go. We have our 10-second video now. This is not AI generated. I mean, it kind of is, but it's actually Remotion rendered and AI orchestrated. It's not like an AI video. So that didn't cost like API spend to generate videos, even though you might do that sometimes. But anyway, we have our video. Cool. And that's actually just going to lead us into our next and final section here. The 4 steps to create a knowledge base. This will be just to get started. I'll say this again at the end, but here in the Create Your Digital Brain module in the AI Captains Academy, you will go through prompt by prompt to create a very thorough knowledge base for your business. Whether you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, creator, whatever you identify as, it is a powerful system to just go through and actually figure out what you're doing, who you're talking to, your competition, your brand voice, your design, your brand story, your SOPs, all of this stuff. So you'll get prompts for actually going back and forth with the agent to create a really epic knowledge base to help you in your work. And then you would later work on knowledge infrastructure to help you actually wire it up, as we've kind of seen in this video, which these days you can basically just tell your AI agent to do it. But yeah, how are we going to get started here? First, we need to have a project. Now, I'm not going to dwell on this too long, but I like to tell everyone that wants to learn AI, you don't just noodle around with some of this bigger stuff. You want to know what the results are you're looking for, because otherwise you're going to try every new AI tool out there and you're just going to be like, okay, cool, but what do I do it for? Because you don't have a project. If you have a project and you know what you need to get out of it, it's a great way to practice tools, see if they're for you, including a knowledge base. So have a project. Start with real work that needs context. Now, I vote everyone should have their own personal brand. Even if it's not your main project, make a personal brand. Coming into an age of AI where everything is automated and sloppy, being a real human being is huge. It's going to be more and more valuable. So everyone has that. If you're not sure what to do, everyone has a personal brand. You can just do it for yourself. It also could be good for doing some soul searching to learn about yourself. Or obviously, if you have a business, a project, a website, a MMORPG, whatever it is, have a project. Then you can build your knowledge base. Okay, so part 2. Explore the specifics. Now, this is a free trial to do this. I highly recommend using the free trial to just start building your knowledge base, and you can even ignore the rest of this video. But if you were to start fresh, open up VSCodium, your IDE. So you're going to click open, make a new folder, open up the folder for your business or your project, your brand, then make new folder, call it knowledge base. Call it whatever you want. This is where we're going to be doing knowledge base. And then simply, we're going to open up our agent. I'll open up OpenCode this time. GLM 5.2, I like that. So we'll say we are going to build a knowledge base for my brand. I teach AI and I sell AI education and community with 2 weekly calls. I need a document for the avatar who I sell to, my brand positioning, my color style guide, etc. Walk me through each of these in a conversation to help me get the answers, and then you'll create the knowledge base files as markdown files. Okay, so now it's going to walk me through it step by step. Now, this is kind of where we explore specifics. It's also where we get into number 3. Let's watch the animation, right? All right. The conversation part is where we go back and forth, and then the agent's going to create MD files after. So OpenCode GLM 5.2 here has created a to-do list for everything we need to figure out. So I'm just going to make this bigger so we have a nice little workspace. And who is the person buying your AI education and community? Not demographics first. Think about their situation. Wow. GLM 5.2 for the win here. Okay. Who do I talk to? Dabble or overwhelmed by free content. That is more or less who I'm speaking to and who I sell to. Avatar pain point. Oh man. All of these are the biggest ones, but no structured path, I would say, is the biggest. Avatar desired outcome. They want to have all of the above. Avatar obstacle. What's holding them back? All of these things. Let's just say too scattered. Any demographic details you want captured, age range, profession. Yeah, keep it psychographic only. So now the AI agent has helped us explore our avatar and ideal customer to create that document. It wants to dig a little bit deeper. What does your avatar believe about AI at a deep level? That's a really good question. I think it's this. Actually, no. Practical tool mindset. It's not philosophical. What's the main objection they have when considering your offer? I think it's practical. Why don't you let me know in the comments if you're watching this? I would love to hear from you. What do you believe about AI at a deep level? Is this a philosophical thing for you, or is it just like, yo, AI is the way because it makes us more productive? Let me know. Buying objections. How does your avatar want to see themselves with identity? This is like some Hormozi-level brainstorming here, huh? They want to be the AI person. Yeah. What tone voice resonates most with your avatar? No BS, baby. All right. So that's going to be the avatar document. I think you get it by now that this is going to be the process. And, oh, more questions. GLM 5.2, it must have high reasoning on. By the way, I am accessing GLM 5.2 completely privately. I didn't mention this earlier because this video is not about that, but one of the points on the Compass framework is privacy. If something is personal to you and you don't want it trained in every AI model and probably should remain private, don't use Codex. Use a private AI provider. Venice doesn't store your data, and you can access any of the big models. Big Frontier provider, you see that's anonymized. It's not going to be private because OpenAI is holding your data. But if we keep going, we'll see Qwen 3.6. This is fully end-to-end encrypted and private, and it has all the tool calling and stuff you need for an agent, and it's actually a pretty good price. So these open source models are catching up, and so you can actually be private here with a pretty good AI. And that's what I'm doing here with GLM 5.2. This is private. So if I were working on a more private project, like making a knowledge base for my life, then I would probably not want to use Cloud Code. I would use a provider like Venice. Okay. Avatar, AI usage. What's your currently regular user surface level? How do they learn best? Actually, I would say hands-on. Avatar, online hangouts. Yeah, YouTube and X. How price sensitive is your avatar? Value driven. I really don't know. Okay. So look, I'm going to stop it here because I don't think we need to keep going here. Create the avatar.md file now. Let's organize like O1 avatar. Because here at the end, it was going to create all the markdown files, which, if we remember, is the proper step 3. But we're going to skip that, so we're not here all day, because I already have all these documents, and I'm just trying to show you how to get started. And I hope by now you have a good idea. Now, here we go. I'll make this smaller. Avatar.md. Let's preview it. Our buyer is someone who uses AI regularly, but only at the surface level. Situation, pain points, desired outcomes. Okay, buying objections. All right, so that is something that can always be improved. We'll get actual market data. Like I asked, please leave a comment. That would be real data. I offer a survey questionnaire when you enter the captains, things like that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is start a new conversation. Say we are building a knowledge base here, and I want to start scaffolding the infrastructure. Okay, so before I get ahead of myself, step 4, add skills and context. Scaffolding the infrastructure so this workspace knows to open the right KB file when that particular topic is brought up, prompted by the user. So let's create the behavioral context file. I'm actually really curious if it creates a CLAUDE.md or an agents.md. Let's see what GLM 5.2 does. There's only one file in here to work with, so agents.md. Agents.md is the more universal term for it. CLAUDE.md if you're using Cloud Code, but they all will check. In my experience, they'll all check anyway. They'll check for CLAUDE.md, they'll check for agents.md, they'll check for whatever the heck, Codex.md. Cool. So here we go. Agents.md, this bigger. So now when a new agent opens up in this workspace, it will read this file first. Agents.md, CLAUDE.md. This workspace is a structured knowledge base for the AI Captain's business. Ooh, it knows about AI Captains. That's interesting. I wonder how it found that out. Each file covers a specific domain. When a user's prompt touches on a topic map below, read the corresponding knowledge base file. Scan the topic routing table. Okay. And all we have so far is the avatar file. So that's all it's got. But essentially, after we make each file, then we say, okay, update the agents.md file. So if we resume this one, just for our demonstration here, I'll say first create mock MD files for the rest of the knowledge topics we want to explore, and then wire them into agents.md. So after you create a new file for your knowledge base, you say, okay, wire it into agents.md. And as we're going to see here in a second, we're going to see more and more topic routing instructions show up right here in this table. So now, great. We have brand positioning, we have offer, we have messaging, visual identity, channels, content strategy. Who needs the AI Captains Academy, right? These AI agents can just do it all. And, okay, agents.md updated. Let's check that out. Analytics launches. Wow. Topic routing table. Okay. So now we had avatar. Now we have brand positioning. Now we have the offer. Now we have messaging. Now we have visual identity, channels, content strategy, competitors. All of this in our agents.md file. And yes, we did say talking about skills here, but that's going to have to be for another time because that's taking us into a brand new world that is not for this video. So there we go. We have our demo solopreneurs knowledge base here that will be super effective in creating entire ecosystems. Like I showed you at the beginning here, we have landing pages, we have sales pages, we have games, we got my homepage, we got a directory, we got apps, all following the rules of the knowledge base. Okay guys, so I hope this was helpful. I hope it was valuable, and I hope you're ready to start making your own knowledge base and constructing your knowledge infrastructure. This really brings your AI game to the next level. Remember, free trial at the AI Captain School. Start building your knowledge base the way the AI Captains are doing it. Get really detailed into each and every document, and it'll just be all the more powerful. Not to mention, use your free trial time to learn about how agents work and how you can control them under the hood, because this is just really valuable stuff to learn these days. So thanks for watching. I really am curious about that question earlier. Is AI a philosophical thing to you? Is it just a practical productivity tool for you? Let me know in a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.